Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back. It's your girl Jazzy.
And Nick.
Back with another video. This is all a part of our vlogmas this year, and we definitely wanted to start these off with a bunch of gems, a lot of advice. So this video, we are going to talk about some couples issues. Main topic:
disrespect in a relationship.
Disrespect, getting a little too friendly.
But that's when it comes to the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Like that kind of disrespect.
Yeah, we have a lot of different topics to touch because it's such a broad thing. Like, I bet a bunch of y'all are like, what do you mean disrespect? How? Disrespect who? Disrespect when? You want to know? I'm sure y'all want to know. So let's get into the nitty gritty of disrespect within your relationship with your significant other. So, you want me to start?
Yeah, let me start. So, just to kind of piggyback off of that, what we're really getting at is, it's kind of like unrealized disrespect. Again, appreciating who you're with and just realizing what could be disrespect. And then also just kind of touching like what we touched on in the video about stresses during the holiday is, it's okay to seek professional help in a relationship. That's something that I wasn't always keen on, but we'll get to that point, so go ahead.
Absolutely. So, just a couple of topics, no specific order. We're just gonna go in and wing it with y'all. So, first things first, I have all of my notes written down, y'all. So we're gonna go in this head first. Pet names.
But she's saying pet names to me. First of all right, look, I don't even use pet names like that. And also, I keep a lot of certain things that I think could come off as sketchy, I guess, in the front of my mind, so that I don't do anything that would potentially, make my partner feel any way. But you probably don't even know this, but I don't
want y'all. Let me clarify. When I say pet names, I'm not talking about me calling Nicholas my schnuckle.
You're talking about the
honey
somebody
bear.
else.
I'm talking about using pet names to someone that is not your significant other. That could be a coworker, that could be a random stranger, it could be anybody that's not your significant other. And this is something you just definitely need to be careful and mindful when it comes to your person.
For me, like I said, the other thing I think that protects me, and we're gonna get on her because she actually has done this in the past. We're gonna call it out. But I always think in my head, just growing up and just kind of being feeling like you're the man and everything like that, talking to women. I know how it can come off, or you can get an idea just because I'm interacting with you a certain way, and now I'm like, why you think like you kind of leaning close to me, like what's going on? So I always kind of make sure I watch how I communicate, so that I don't give the wrong impression. So now we'll get to Jasmine. She's from New Orleans. Everybody know that behavior. So she says baby a lot. That's a part of the culture. Love a lot. And I'll let you expound on how that's come off.
Right. So this was just something that I had to really learn, especially with Nicholas. And honestly, I have no idea with any of my past relationships if this was something that bothered them, because they never said anything. But with Nicholas, I really did not understand. I wasn't trying to hear it. I was making all the excuses in the book, like, this is just how I talk. I'm not like, you're tripping. Just everything in the book. And again, like Nicholas said, me being from New Orleans, we always are, it's terms of endearment for New Orleans, a New Orleanian. And we'll say baby or love or anything like that. For example, I'll say thanks love, or thanks dear, or darling. Like, people say those types of things, but not living in the state of Louisiana, I have to be very mindful and careful, and not solely because of Nicholas, but because some people just take things the wrong way, or they get the wrong impression, especially if I use those types of terms towards a man. So I have to be very, very mindful of those things, because I've encountered things like that where a man is getting the wrong impression just because I'm talking how I feel is normal and it's not. But especially if I'm with Nicholas, just being mindful of how I'm speaking to people and not using those types of words, you know. And like I said, it's not even with Nicholas. Even I'm pretty sure you've heard it on your jobs, like
even just on social media. Like I mean, we see it now. Like if you, I'm gonna put it like this: as a man, Jasmine, again, like I know that she doesn't have any bad intent behind it, but it still puts me in an awkward place if the receiver of it doesn't, and then now they're looking at me crazy, and she's just thinking, oh, this is harmless, blah blah blah. And although I know you mean it harmlessly, doesn't mean that the other receiver is. So just the same way, again, I used to say love and all that, but I can't do that to everybody now because they're looking like she got a ring on her finger and you calling me this. It's her culture to speak that way, but it's not that person's culture, so they don't understand it. And me being a man and like going through like the college, I know right now it's a man watching the video. If a girl sends you 2 smiley emojis or a heart emoji or too many laughing emojis, all of a sudden, hey man, bro, look at this. She want me. Oh, she stuck the tongue out. Oh, blah blah. She put the eyes. And people read so much into little things that may not mean something to you, and that's where you have to be careful because at the end of the day, really, it's not even about necessarily just how your partner feels. It's also what you are giving off. So it's just best to put yourself in a protected place because you also want to protect your partner. Because I don't want no woman to look at Jasmine and see she got a ring on, and then she's thinking that I'm disrespecting her because of that, or thinking that she can even get over on her. So when Jasmine goes to the bathroom, now she comes by and want to slide. Nah, I don't want none of that.
Exactly. And like some other examples of, you know, situations like that. Let's just say I invite Nicholas to a work holiday party and he's with me, and there's that one coworker, maybe it's a male, and I'm introducing him and I say something like, oh, Bill, I love that cologne. That makes my day every time you wear that cologne. If this man don't look at me sideways, if I say that,
I mean, Jasmine worked with a lot of but anyway, I'm gonna put it like this. I don't think it's not about me and her saying whatever it is. It's more so about knowing the audience. And it's very hard to know your audience. And if you're working with somebody, I'm gonna put it like this, even in that instance where that could be completely harmless, you have to think about what position does that put your partner in. Because if, let's say that the table is turned and we're in a situation and I'm telling her, man, I love your perfume. This smells so good. Jasmine, you should, you know, something like that. And let's say that it's a completely harmless conversation between all 3 of us. But then you got Bill and Susie and John over there looking, and they're looking like, why is they usually hit yourself with Jasmine? And it's kind of like now they look at her a certain way. So to me, it's all just protecting your partner in all of those instances. Like right now, I'm on social media in front of all of you. If you even see me just hug somebody, you might think of it as awkward. Not even knowing it could be my cousin, it could be whoever. But the simplest thing where, again, I can take a bite out of a sandwich, sitting down eating by myself, and all of a sudden I hate my girlfriend because she's not there with me. So it's about protecting your partner's image more so than anything.
Exactly. I'm trying to think, like another example, tables turn, like if we're somewhere and maybe this is a friend or a coworker or whoever, it's a female, and you always say, or I'm with you and you're like, oh my goodness, Tiffany, your smile is just so radiant and it just makes my day every time I see you.
Cringe.
That is cringe. Like, I would literally look at Nicholas and like grab him by the ear and drag him out. Like, what? Like, why are you saying that? Like, what is that supposed to mean?
Girl, you've been working. I seen you working out in the gym, girl. Dang.
Right, like that is so weird. Like,
but I'm a nice person like that though. Like I mean, no homo, but I'll compliment a man at the grocery store. Hey man, I like your.
But you still need to be mindful though, because that is not like that's not
in this
okay.
day and
Like
age, you're right.
I personally feel because that pretty much goes to what we were just talking about.
Right.
Being mindful of your partner, like you know, and again, this might just be a conversation between you and your partner, because that kind of goes to one of my points that I want to bring up about your partner's triggers. That's a conversation that may have happened, and then I may pull Nicholas to the side and say, hey, that made me super uncomfortable. I really don't like that comment that you gave that person. And that's not me coming off insecure or anything like that, because maybe those comments, I don't know how often he gives those comments, but that might be giving her the wrong idea.
Well,
you know, us women, we know that term, like, I don't want any woman to have no ups on me. I'm pretty sure you've heard of that before. And that type of comment is definitely, if that's the type of woman, I mean, you know, you never know. She's probably like, oh yeah, she got that ring on, but her man's constantly complimenting me, telling me. I'm sorry, women are catty, and I'm personally, I do not live in that mean girl era. Like, that is not cool. Whoever, women, if you are still living in that mean girl era, that is not what's up. But unfortunately, those are the truths that actually happen. And again, that might not be any type of ill intent coming from Nicholas giving that type of comment, but you never know what that other person is thinking. And I think that's the bigger picture.
I think I compliment everybody, and I really don't mean, you know that, like,
absolutely, like
I
you don't mean any harm at all.
It could be a little kid, it could be an old woman, it could be a man, whatever it is, like, hey,
right.
Man.
But again,
but
you still gotta be mindful because you just don't know. And again, like, just to reiterate, like, that's pretty much the same thing as me saying thanks love, thanks baby, you know, to the random stranger, random men, and him saying something like that to a woman, or it could be a random stranger. Like,
yeah, I would literally be like, I like your eyebrows, like, but you know, I gotta be careful.
But again, being careful. But me and Nicholas, we've had those types of conversations, so we are very aware, and that's something that I know I've worked on a lot, saying my terms of endearment, especially.
I have to do it too.
Absolutely.
But I think one thing that we didn't talk about is cultural. Like, my culture, I'm Jamaican. I would say, like I told her this weekend, I don't recall there ever being one family party ever growing up where it wasn't a dance party. Or even like when we go to Juve or to Bottle Fed or whatever, you dance, period. You dance with everybody, and nobody thinks anything of it. We ain't talking about like, oh, you twerk it and this and that, but you just dance. And it don't mean that the man, woman, it's nobody's looking like, oh, I'm gonna get you. It's just a dance, you know?
Right.
But I have noticed in American culture, that's like a thing. It's like an intimacy kind of thing. And I've never really looked at it like that. I'm just looking at it like I'm having fun, like I'm jogging with somebody. It's the same way I look at it. But I know that I gotta be aware, or at least ask, you know, how does it make you feel? Because she may not like it. And at the end of the day, really what it comes down to is, it's not about what I think. It's not about what I like, what my culture does. It's not about any of that. It could be completely right in my culture. But if she feels awkward, or if it makes her feel anything, or if she feels like that, you know, there's somebody that has the one-ups on her or whatever it is. Because again, I don't know how that other person is, so I don't know if they have the same intent.
Right.
Then I need to check myself, because I don't want her to feel that way. And that's it, period.
Gotcha. Well, that actually brings me to my next point of like PDA and physical interactions with someone else that's not your significant other, you know, whether that's dancing or hugging in certain ways. You know, sometimes you just gotta get the little side church hug, or, you know, if you're in some type of business atmosphere, handshakes are okay, or some, you know, exactly, like, you do have to respect people's boundaries. What do you think?
I think that's very true. We were watching a video again with Vietnamese culture, not Vietnamese, Japanese. And it was basically saying that in the United States, we shake hands, hug, all that kind of stuff. But for them, that's invading their personal space. So everybody doesn't take, again, culturally, everybody doesn't take the same way that you're giving something. So regardless of what your intent was, it comes off to somebody else like, hey man, you're in my space, you're in my boundaries. Just the same way that they may feel that way, how does your partner feel with the PDA, regardless of what it is. It could be something simple to you, but it's not about what you think. Like, shaking hands to me is no big deal. But some people, that's a really big deal. Like, don't touch my hands, they're dirty, blah, blah, blah. So if your significant other, whether that's a man or a woman, doesn't like you hugging or doing the little kiss thing or whatever it is. Like, some people just slap butts. You know, in the NBA, that's accepted. But you're not going to slap somebody's butt on the street. So what does that signify? Again, in the NBA, cool, we're going to slap the butt and keep it moving. If you're in the mall and somebody does a good job at the cash register, you're going to slap the butt. No, they're going to think that, you know, you might be swimming. So it's like, I'm just saying, like, you have to be careful because regardless of what your intent is, even in that situation saying, good job, they may not take it that way. And your partner, you don't know how that makes them feel. And that's all that really matters. I keep saying that.
All of that to say, you have to have these types of conversations with your partner. You have to ask the right questions. You have to listen. Don't get super defensive. Just sit back, listen. Don't try to correct certain things. Maybe if they are wrong, let them self-correct. But you have to have those types of conversations with your partner, because if not, you're gonna constantly have the same arguments or same conversations over and over and over and over again, and it's gonna sound like a violin. You have to do it, nip it in the bud, ask what those triggers are, what do you like, what makes you uncomfortable. Those are the types of questions that you really wanna ask. And overall for me, just be mindful. Be mindful of the things that you're doing, the actions that you're showing, the things that you say, because you never know how it's being taken from another person, or just in general, how your partner feels overall.
Just to sum up all of that, to me, love, although it has an emotional point or emotional value, it's still a choice. You're choosing to love this person, and it should be unconditionally. So if you're dating somebody in a different culture, or you know, whatever it is, at the end of the day, I'm saying I signed up to be with this person, so whatever their pet peeve is might be different than mine. They don't like that food, they don't like the way that this is, or they like this, or they like flowers, and I don't want to buy flowers. It doesn't matter. You signed up to be with this person, so you're trying to figure out what is it that makes this person happy, what is it that makes them unhappy, and give that to them. If it's something that's a trigger or something that she doesn't like, and it should go both ways, it's about respecting that person, and it really doesn't matter what I think or what I feel about it. It's how they feel. So give them whatever it is that they want, because that's what you signed up for. I signed up to say, I love this person, I care about this person, and if this bothers them that much, big or small, in my mind, it doesn't matter. Because if something's big or small in my mind, it shouldn't be a question to you either. So I signed up for this. I asked for this. Just respect what it is that they feel, and then just give them that. You avoid all the argument in that case. Absolutely. Like, I'm not gonna lose nothing by changing up the way I talk, or not hugging somebody at work, or doing whatever. I'm only gonna lose if I keep on doing the thing that bothers you.
Exactly.
And eventually probably lose the love that I wanted, just because I had too much pride.
Exactly. So I think all of that to say, like, I have to keep repeating it over and over. Just be mindful, read the room, you know, just pick up on those social cues, pick up on that body language. You can see it, I'm sure. You know, if your partner is very expressive, I know me and Nicholas are very expressive.
I'm very expressive.
You can see it in our face. We might make a gesture,
I'm very vocal.
We know. Yeah, you're very vocal. I think
she's
maybe I'm more expressive.
Like energy. You can feel that. It's one of those typical, is everything okay? I'm fine. No, you're not.
Talking with each other amongst yourselves, with your significant other, does not work. Again, both of us can attest to this. Seek couples therapy. Seek couples counseling. There is nothing wrong with that at all. If you guys cannot agree to disagree, or you are just in complete disagreement, get that unbiased opinion. And also, if you are seeking a therapist and maybe that first one doesn't work out, keep trying, keep finding another one until you find that perfect fit that both of you can mesh with. I highly recommend it. You know, Nicholas and I We have our own personal therapist that we go to and we talk to on a basis where we can schedule our appointments as we need them.
My biggest thing is, I can say this for anybody that is in the boat where I was. I used to completely feel like therapy, I don't know therapy, especially, my culture I grew up, it's basically just thug it out, be tough, figure it out yourself. A lot of different things. I mean, even if it's just pray about it, like, therapy is not a bad thing. It's nothing to be shameful of. It is not you telling somebody that doesn't know you to care about you or whatever it is. There's a lot of different connotations that I even had my own self. But what I will say is you don't want to wait till it's too late where you hit rock bottom, because I think that, what really pushes somebody over the edge to where it's like therapy is the last option. That's not what it should be. Therapy should be like a supplement to like your diet. It's not, oh crap, I gained a whole bunch of weight, now I need to go get liposuction. You should be using it as a supplement to get there. So no, not even that something's wrong. You don't want to wait till something's wrong. But if something is wrong, that's the way that I think you should approach therapy. Like, hey, I want to get better. Just the same way you approach vitamins. I might not be sick, but I can be better. That's the way I kind of look at it now, is don't wait until it's too late, because that's what happens to a lot of people. They're like already got a foot out the door or 2 feet out the door. Then they go to therapy as the last option. But at that point, it really could be too late. Or let's say you're depressed or whatever the case may be, and then you go to therapy as your last resort. You have such a bigger hill to climb at that point. And just approach it from a place of, I'm broken and I want to be fixed, or I want to be better no matter what that is. You'll have your eyes open to, bigger and better perspectives. Also, the way you communicate. If you go to a couples therapy, like the way you're communicating, maybe the way that you say it, that person can't understand, but now you have an unbiased therapist listening and they can explain it to that person, so they have that breakthrough. And they're like, oh, that's what you're trying to say. And again, take your notes, try to be better, use it as a tool to just become a better person and better in a relationship. Go into it with a positive mindset, positive attitude, you get something positive out of it. The last thing I want to say is, as far as therapy is concerned, like she said, we can schedule them now whenever we want. But when you're sick, you have to keep going to the doctor chronically, like every week, to do check-ins. But if you take it in, you're going to do your checkup to just make sure everything's okay, because you've been using it, been taking your vitamins, it's different than you're sick now and you have to keep on going. So I think when you're going to therapy, you should use it as a tool to also understand how to operate on your own. You don't want to have to keep calling the doctor to say, hey, today I woke up, what should I eat for breakfast? You should be learning what those tools are along the way, so that you can apply them over the course of your life and your relationship. So hopefully that's not too long-winded, but I do think that it's an important thing to say, because I was definitely in a place of, me and doing no therapy stuff, and that would just hurt us in general. And I'm honestly really happy that I did.
Absolutely. And I
have fun in therapy, actually.
Therapy is pretty cool. It's definitely eye-opening, those things where maybe you are being a little more stubborn, or, giving a lot of pushback on, like Nicholas said, getting that unbiased opinion, getting that unbiased person to listen, to help you think things through, help you think clearly, help you see a little bit more clearly. It's just overall, it's just super helpful. And I have my own personal therapist. We have our couples therapies. It's definitely helpful to our relationship, to help us to continue to grow and build, because Nicholas and I are not perfect at all. And one thing that I know, I hope I can speak for you on this, because I feel the same way. Like, we both admire each other's, willingness to grow and be better, not just for ourselves, but for each other. And I think that is one of those key foundational pieces of your relationship, whether you are just girlfriend and boyfriend, engaged, or happily married at home with kids. That all starts with your foundations. And one other thing I wanted to throw in there, because I know it's super cliche and I think everybody's heard a million times, me and Nicholas actually have the books, The 5 Love Languages, and I cannot think of the name of that other book that we were reading.
I don't know. I can say, I think that you should learn this is something you can do in therapy too, but I highly recommend everybody look up the 4 major personality types first, and maybe like a disc profile, and then look into the love language, because your personality type makes up who you are overall, and then your love language is like a deeper aspect of that. Everybody's a certain way at their core, and then they have these little intricacies that are like the branches of that. So like your personality type is like your tree trunk, and then your love languages are the branch. And there are some main ones to it. But I think everybody wants to experience all the different types, but there's something that they need more of. And something I actually learned in therapy is if I make a square, I'm a square. If Jasmine's a circle, and you can fit the circle into the square, there's always these little gaps on the side. But at the same time, I would be whole in that situation. But let's say that I fill up her circle to the point that she comes over the square. The square's still gonna fit in there, but now there's little gaps on the sides there too. So there's all these voids that are not filled. You really wanna make sure that you are kind of conforming to be an equal shape and give each other what you need. But first of all, you need to know who you are to be able to give that anyway.
Well, I hope you guys take some of this advice from us. Like I said, we are not perfect. We are not therapists, but these are just some things that we wanted to share with you all, just to be aware, be conscious, be woke, however you want to say that.
Especially in the Black community, honestly, like, go to therapy. Period.
Yes.
You've been carrying a lot of hurt for a long time.
Yep. Just do it.
And protecting it.
And it's nobody's business. Do it for you. Don't do it for nobody else. You don't gotta go broadcasting it to everybody. Do it for yourself. It's not gonna hurt. If you can't afford to go to therapy, YouTube is a great outlet for those types of things. There are a lot of articles out there for you to read. The internet is free, y'all. Take advantage of it. Use it to the best that you can. If you can,
I believe
actually
there are
someone.
some free ones too, that are probably like maybe still in school or something like that. And again, it's not any therapist, so you do want to make sure that you find somebody for you.
Yes.
That's the other part.
Absolutely.
Find somebody that's for you, and also if it's a couples thing, somebody that works for both of you. It can't just be one person feels comfortable. Approach it with an open mind, willing, and everything's good. I think that's enough on therapy.
Yeah. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, couples edition, intro to our vlogmas, because we have some really, really fun things that we're gonna do. So keep watching, keep staying in tune with all of our upcoming videos, and thank you all so much.
What are some of your triggers? What are some of the things that you find disrespectful in a relationship? If you got a partner that you think maybe would benefit from this advice, or if you've benefited from this advice, let us know in the comments below. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you again, and see y'all in the next video. Peace.
Thank y'all.
Tell them, say like and subscribe.
I like and subscribe.
Yeah!